So, welcome back to Simple Human Design. My name is Charlie, and I have my very first guest on the podcast today. Hi, Sujan. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having
Hi.
me.
No problem. So, I actually met Sujan on Threads, one of the most amazing platforms. I personally think if you
Yeah,
are a fifth line
yeah,
heretic, you can really share your hereticness, I feel, on Threads, for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's giving Twitter when it was cool. It can kind of be a little unhinged and nobody's gonna like bat an eye. You know what I mean? But also not like Mean Girls, Keyboard Warrior, too much over there. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I get that. And also, I'm personally finding it a very inclusive place to be as well.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think people are just sick of whatever's going on social media right now. So Threads is that kind of like, okay, we hate every other social media platform. We are going to start over and we are going to just do something different, which is very much Age of Aquarian, kind of like, you know, fuck everything.
Yes.
We're starting over. We are starting over and we are in charge and we're doing something new.
Yeah. Yeah, needed as well, right? So,
Definitely.
yeah, so we met on Threads and we're here today just to talk. And as I promised you guys with Simple Human Design, I wanted to bring you lived experiences. So, real people who have real experiences with the human design system and how it has changed their lives. So, Sujan is a very beautiful 5-1 sacral generator. And yeah, we're going to hear some of her amazing stuff today. We actually had a really big chat before we pressed record, didn't we? And a lot of stuff came
Yes.
up.
We should have pressed
And
record at first. We should have just started
I
off
know,
with the recording.
yeah, we really should have done actually. One of the things I would love to bring up again, actually, now that we have press record,
Yes.
is talking about how to decondition in an environment that actually doesn't
Mm.
support your journey. So,
Yeah.
would you like to tell my audience, however much you want to tell about,
Yeah.
your environment and how you put things into place that help you decondition?
Okay, so long story short, without all the gory details, I have a dysfunctional family. I live with them. I am also neurodiverse, so that's I'm basically disabled. So that's also added into the, whole dysfunction thing. Um, because I'm not accepted for who I am. I'm supposed to be someone else, which is in direct contradiction to my design. Uh, not ironically, but that's where the deconditioning starts really, and being someone that you're not. So I have a completely open emotional solar plexus. When I say completely open, ain't not a damn gate defined in there. And then my ego is just has that one gate in there, gate 51, which is in my conscious earth, which is probably why it gives me that much trouble, Charlie. um, so feeling like I have to prove myself to receive the love or affection of my family, those around me, having to change who I am to fit in. Um, not wanting to have emotional confrontation with others because it is effectively unsafe for me to do so because I'm not normal or whatever. Um, so it is hard to decondition those centers, and they give me a lot of trouble. They do give me a lot of trouble. Uh, so sorry, I just had to like process my thoughts there because I said this already. It's like,
It's right.
and that's so funny because that's another part of my design. I think I have the channel of maturation, so I've
Hmm.
already done this. I'm not coming back to it. It's gone. It's out of my brain. Another very interesting, weird thing of human design now. So yeah, that's my background. So I do still live at home in that dysfunctional house. So it is hard. I'm aware of where I am being conditioned and I do want to decondition because I am working with my authority, my strategy, and I'm seeing results. I've always known that I had a very clear intuition. I've always known what I've wanted. I've always, I can see parts of the other parts of my design where, like, this shit just makes sense. And I see where when I follow my strategy, when I follow my authority, things work out. And and it's easier, it's more satisfying to use my signature theme. It's more
Yeah.
satisfying to be in alignment with my design. And when I go into that conditioning of these open and undefined centers, I notice a lot more frustration, a lot more stress, a lot more just like not being or feeling that I'm where I want to be or where I need to be, even with like my journey as a freelancer and entrepreneur, um, it's hard. It's a challenge, but it's a challenge that is satisfying to me that I want to keep doing. It's not something that I'm pushing. The only places, sorry, that I feel frustration or friction are places where I'm not listening to myself. I'm not
Mm.
listening to my intuition. I'm not
Not responding.
responding in a way that aligns with my design. I'm doing things for other people. I'm doing things to prove myself. I'm doing things to avoid confrontation. And that confrontation part is very, very funny, especially as a heretical being,
Yeah.
because I'm the village crazy. What am I talking about? I'm always going to be the village crazy. No matter what I say, no matter what I do, I'm always going to be unconventional. I'm always going to go away from the green. I'm always just going to be doing something different, not what everybody else is doing. And people are just not going to like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is what we have to as fifth lines, like because you and I
Hmm.
are both 5'1s,
Hmm.
we have to realize that we're not for everybody. And
Yes.
some people are going to love us and some people are just going to be like, who the heck is that?
Yeah.
Right? And I just love that awareness of that you have. And I understand that conditioning is very difficult. I'm a projector. Conditioning
Yeah.
is difficult, right? So I can deeply, deeply empathize with that. Um, but at the same time, the first part of conditioning is awareness.
Goodness.
So
Yes.
bringing that awareness to the fact that you do have a completely open solar plexus and you have a, undefined ego center,
Ego. Yeah.
which is the same as me. I've got other open centers, but I do have those undefined as well.
Hmm.
And just literally watching yourself sometimes people please, or watching yourself not confront, or watching yourself tell yourself lies because you don't want to confront. It's the
What
first
the
part of the
hell are you
conditioning, isn't it?
doing? What the hell? I literally look back at myself and like, why the fuck did you do that? You know you didn't want to do that shit. Why the hell did you do that?
Yes.
Do you even like this person? Like, I'm people pleasing, but do I want this person to like me? Do I like this person? Do I want to continue interacting with that person? I literally have to sit with myself sometimes and be like, why do I want this person to like me? Honestly, truly. Do I even
Yeah.
care? Really and truly? Like, is it important that this person likes me? Like, and then that's when I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Never mind. Walking that back. Never mind.
Yeah. And
Actually,
that it's that awareness, isn't it? It's like, okay,
yes.
why did I do that? Walk yourself back. So yeah, always a good point there is I think really for anybody listening who's wanting to use the human design system to start to really understand your true self.
Yeah.
Generally, what is happening with us is that our white centers or undefined centers in the human design body graph, this is where we're putting all our energy when we're conditioned. That's where we're being conditioned, basically. And we want to live in our definition. We want to live in that, the beautiful colored in parts of our chart. And as soon as we live in that beautiful colored in parts of our chart, that is when flow and ease and, the less friction, that there is.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, but the thing is, though, is with your open or undefined centers, it's conscious awareness every single time. So even though you and I are aware that we're people pleasers and we're proud of ourselves because we didn't people please this week, yeah. Next week we still have to be aware that we might be people pleasing.
Yeah.
It's not like a one and done.
Yes. I had a therapist say that it took you 30 plus years to get to this point. It's going to take you at least that amount to work with it and undo it and be aware and this kind of thing. So that's another thing to be mindful of, that like, yes, you might be conditioned. And I guess this is the kind of thing that is both scary and exciting. Scary in that you have the rest of your life to figure it out. That's a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, if you intend on living to like 90, 100, that's a long time to figure out something, right? But it's also a long time to figure it out. You have time. You have the time. And I mean, as a generator, I'm trying to master everything. I want to master it immediately, of course, because again, that investigates. I love learning. I love, these new things. I love getting my hands and all this stuff. And it's also scary that it's going to take a long time, but it's also like, thank God it have a long time for me to learn this stuff. There's a long time for me to pick up something, work with it, put it down, try something else, pick that up, work with multiple things, work with nothing. So if human design is your journey, you are going to be experimenting for a very long period of time. And it's okay to put it down sometimes.
Yeah.
It's okay
Yeah,
to put it down
absolutely.
sometimes.
Yeah. And like when I went through a lot of my initial human design sort of learning, and you hear that, oh, actually it takes 7 years to decondition
Yeah.
because 7 years is
Mhm.
how long it takes for your cells to turn over. Actually,
Mhm.
it's not 7 years, it's the rest of your life
Yeah,
because everything is in divine timing. And I
correct.
have gate 60, the gate of acceptance slash
Mhm.
limitation, as my conscious sun. And I've been really diving into this recently, and it really is about, yeah, okay, so it's accepting limitations, but it's about the timing of it all. So I say to a lot of people when they come and have readings with me or they work with me, through alignment coaching, I say to them, I could tell you everything there is to know about yourself, but not everything will drop in this moment. It
Yeah.
will drop tomorrow when you have this conversation with your partner. It will drop
Mhm.
next week. It will drop in 6 months. It will drop in 7 years, 70
It's
years
funny.
even.
It's funny that you say that because I have gate 57 as my conscious sun.
Yeah.
So that's a gate of intuition. And I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. There are some times where I feel like I'm channeling a message to people, and I know it's not going to land with them now. I know that what I have to say is important, and it's important for them to receive it now, but they're actually going to process it and work it out in their own, I call it, it come into Jesus moment. In their own, they'll have their own epiphany in their own timing, and they will remember what I said. They will
Yeah.
specifically remember that I said this thing that was that initiator for them. That could be just like you said, tomorrow, it could be in 5 years, 5 months. There have been so many times where I'm like, channeled message, And people are like, you bugging, that's crazy. That, and then they come back to me and it's like, that thing you said, like, yeah, I know. You just needed your own timing to,
Mm,
integrate that and really process what
yeah,
was said.
process it.
You know
Yeah,
what I
and
mean?
that's the thing
So,
with human design. It's not a overnight success. It's not an
yeah,
overnight transformation.
yes.
And it's funny actually. I've just realised, even though obviously I've seen your chart, when you talked about Gate 57, Gate of Insight, Intuitive Insight,
Mhm.
guess which gate bridges my split?
Stop it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm a
Oh,
split
hold
definition
on.
projector.
I'm pulling off your chart here now.
Yeah, so I'm a split definition projector, and gate 57 is what bridges that split and makes me complete. And
Oh,
guess which gate Sujan has? It's gate
I
57.
have I have that channel actually.
Oh, do you?
1057.
Yeah.
1057. So
Mhm.
wow. I love human design.
I know. And this is
I
like,
love human design.
this is where you find the people that you're supposed to be connected with, the people that you
Yes.
are supposed to meet to make these things drop into embodiment, to make these things drop into existence. And uh, you're across the other side of the world from me. You've been been brought up in a completely different environment to me, and yet you and I can meet on Threads, come and do a podcast, and then be like, we're supposed to be talking right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That is
It's
so
just
cool.
amazing.
And again, that human design, a lot of people I think look at human design as another self-help thing.
Hmm.
And yes, but it's also for the collective. It's also for everyone else. Take us as line 5 ones. We are, yeah, part of that design is for ourselves, the investigation part. But the other part of that, the line 5, is for others. It's not just for ourselves, for the information that we gather and collect, that we so voraciously pick up and, you know, take in, is some of it is for ourselves, but a lot of it is for others. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I really love that aspect of human design. Like, it's about me as an individual, yes, and being different. That's the science of differentiation. It's about me being different, but I connect with other people in their differences,
Yeah.
in their uniqueness. And as a whole, collectively, we work together to improve the world or share experiences or whatever it is people work together to do. I
Yeah.
love that about
Yeah.
human design.
Yeah, me too. I think that's amazing. And I think, some people that I meet in, I don't know, I guess networking or in like a business situation, I actually find they're a little bit typist in the sense that because I'm not a
Hmm.
generator like them, they don't know how to talk to me. And actually, it's nothing to do with type.
That's
It's to
so
do with
weird.
connection and energy.
And I think that is now when people are just starting with human design, I always recommend um focusing more on the energy type, strategy, and authority. That's like
Yeah.
the big three of human design,
Yes, of course.
right? The big three. But there's so much more in there about human design that you can't think in that very shallow, and I mean this is probably just my 5-1 self again. You can't, it's very shallow, it's very tip of the iceberg, the,
Yeah.
the type thing, you know what I mean? And it's again, it's weird because we are meant to work together. Our
Yeah.
uniqueness links us together. So for a projector, you're a projector, I'm a generator, I'm giving you my sacral energy. We could probably
Yeah.
talk for 2 hours here. But when we
Oh,
get off this
totally.
call, you are going to have a big fat nap. And I hope you do. That And that is just me lending you my energy. You can't sustain that.
Yeah.
So why, I mean, yes, being with another projector would be, fun. Both of us are like Energizer bunnies. We're having fun or whatever, but like you need my sacral energy to get
Yeah.
things done sometimes. You know what
Yeah,
I
I do.
mean? You need so that typist thing is just it's racism. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah,
It's
it
just
is.
like it's weird. I don't get it at all. I don't get it at all.
Yeah, we all fit together, don't we? So,
Yeah.
and yeah, I love that. Like sacral energy is so beautiful for me, and it's completely true. Like if I take myself off, a little bit of practical advice here for non-sacrals. If I take myself off to a cafe, if I do co-working online, or if I do anything that is an aura with somebody else, then I can get a lot of work done.
Mhm.
And I get it done in an hour, and then guess what? I get to rest. Ta-da!
The biggest, like I said, I work with so many like projectors, and I'm like in my brain, I'm always like, I'm not pushing any pressure to them. Like, we live in a society where everything has to get done immediately, and you have to have energy, you have to hustle, you have to grind. And I'm like, babes, you're a projector. Take a nap. Get back to me, please. I actually don't want you to speak to me until you've had a nap. Leave me
Yeah.
alone. to, it feels like you have a lot of energy right now, but it's mine.
But
It's
yeah,
not
it's yours.
yours.
Mm,
It's not yours, it's mine. Go and take a nap. Leave me alone. Get back to me later after that nap.
yeah.
So that's another cool thing that I like, that I'm aware on behalf of other people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That like,
Yeah.
go take a
And it's
nap.
beautiful to have that awareness as well, I think, because
Yes.
I think that, as a projector, I can get very sucked in to that doing energy and that sort of life force lit up stuff. And it's
Yeah.
beautiful, yes, but if you're unaware of it, if you're unaware of what's happening, it drains you so much. And it leads to burnout. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So explain a little bit about what you do. What's the work that you do,
Oh,
Sujam?
okay. So I'm a Notion and clarity coach. So I help in Notion um, neurodivergent beings understand their workflow and understand Notion, that line one, the foundations, understand Notion in a way that helps them and supports their workflow. Um, I help my clarity clients the same way. I help you understand yourself, to empower yourself to go through those challenges in life, those fears that you may be having, not being good enough, afraid of confrontation, my undefined centers. I have a
Yeah.
lot of those clients coming in myself, um, to work through those fears and really understand yourself so that you can feel confident and competent in whatever it is that you're doing next. That's what I help neurodivergent specifically folks do. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. I love that. And you said earlier actually that you do use human design with your clients, don't you? That you don't
Ooh,
go deep
yeah.
with it, but you do get their
No.
chart.
Again, that awareness. I get that once I get their chart, I had one person who did not give me their chart recently, and it really bothered me because I felt like I was going in blind, honestly. But I use specifically aura type strategy and authority to help them come to make those decisions.
Mhm.
So we are deciding, let's say you have a very complicated Notion workspace and you don't know why it's not working for you. It might be that you are not responding to your own authority. It may be that you are seeing something online that you think that you should have. And as a
Mhm.
sacral being, I don't deal in should. Does it make sense to you? Does it feel good? Those sorts of things. I also look at the undefined centers as well. A lot of these people, neurodivergent folks specifically, have something to prove. They feel like they have to prove that they can be organized, that they can be, put together. And I'm like,
Mhm.
girl, this is not for you. This workspace, it's for somebody else. It's not for you. Let's
Okay.
try out something that's for you, specifically curated to the way that your brain works. I also have a defined spleen. I have 57. I have a couple of fear gates in there. And a lot of my clients also do come to me with those fears of like, if I change, what'll happen?
Mm,
That kind of like fear of the future, that kind of like,
yeah.
this is what I'm, and again, that kind of conditioning comes in. This is what I know. This is the environment that I'm used to. If
Hmm.
I change, what happens? I don't know what will happen. So I'm helping these people understand their fears. If it's not in a very like again overt way, we're just asking questions like, why do you think you need this specific way of tracking things in Notion? And you
Yeah.
hear the conditioning come up, and I'm like, yeah, okay, all right, let's look through that. Try this, try that, and then I bring in my um 5-1. I've already understood and deep the foundations of Notion and figure out little hacks that work for me and myself as a neurodiverse individual. Try this. What about that one? Or something that blows my mind every time that I say it. And again, this is like me just leaning out of my conditioning. Sometimes somebody has a question for me and I'm like, I don't know. Let's find out together. So
Yeah.
I'm also showing you that I'm not afraid to look dumb or look unintelligent. Like, let's find out together. Let's try these things. Let's take a risk. Let's take a risk and try something. See if it works out. Does it work out? No. Okay. Now we know it doesn't work. Try something else. And a lot of my clients, that's how I end up really, I feel really helping them in that way because I understand the mechanics of human design and I understand the mechanics of Notion
Yeah.
and a little bit of
That.
psychology and my own experiences as a neurodiverse individual who is trauma informed, to be able to come across in a kind way and an understanding way, almost like gentle parenting, you know, to give them a result, a transformation. Is it going to happen now? No, but you will see most people leave with a kind of like, oh, I could do something, you know? Is it going to be like a full blown transformation? No, it's going to take some time to integrate and really, understand it. But
Mhm.
yeah, I do use human design.
Amazing.
Long-winded way of saying
Long-winded way.
that.
It's a beautiful way of saying that, though. Yeah, that's wonderful. Okay, so I would absolutely love to keep talking for 2 hours, but
Yes.
as you
Yeah.
know,
No.
I'm keeping my podcast to
Yes.
between 10 and 15 minutes, and as you can
Yes.
see, it's nearly 30.
Yes.
But we should probably come back and record another episode at some point.
I would love that.
So,
I would love
yeah,
that.
I think that
I
would
would
be
love that.
amazing. I think that
Yes.
my audience will really enjoy hearing from you and yeah, just hearing your lived experience and the way that you explain things because it's so very
Yes.
different. So, I just want to say thank you so much for saying, like, for coming on board because I know you said that there was a little bit of fear crept in when you saw my thread.
Nervous,
Yeah.
nervous. Yeah, I did. Because I did again that conditioning. Do I have enough
Am I good
information
enough?
to
Yeah.
yeah, am I good enough? And
Hmm.
I was just like, shut up, you are amazing.
Oh
You
yeah.
definitely do not suck. Okay? And people have less than you and more audience. Shut up. Do it. And I'm so
Yeah,
glad I did.
exactly.
I'm so glad I
I'm so
did.
glad you did. Yeah, I'm so glad. And this is just the conditioning of the ego center, which is
Yes,
undefined. And yeah, we
yes,
can all learn from that, I think.
yes,
Like, am I enough? Okay, shut up, ego mind. I am enough. So
yes,
that's the yeah, that's
yes,
the key takeaway for
yes.
today, I think. So thank you so much, Sujan, for coming on. It's been
Of course, thank you for
fantastic to
having
talk to you
me.
today. And we will talk to you another time. Do you want to just very quickly explain how people can contact you? Do you use
Um,
Instagram threads?
I do use Instagram. I do use Threads.
Okay.
It's at Sujan Noreiga. Everywhere, basically, YouTube, TikTok, but I'm mostly on Threads, and I also
Okay.
have a blog where I talk more about my experience with burnout recovery, mental illness, um, some of the stuff that I talked here about today, that's sujan.substack.com. You have some links though. I'm just saying it out, but
Yeah,
you have
I'll
some
put all
links.
the
You have
links in
some
the
links.
show notes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where you can connect with me, and I would love to connect with you guys.
Yay, wonderful. Thank you, Sujan, and we'll speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.